Hey, I'm Panilla, a 28-year-old from Denmark, now trying to carve out a life in the US. One afternoon, I was sitting in my favorite cafe in downtown Chicago, sketching logo ideas for a project when this guy walks in. Tall, dark, and striking, definitely the kind of guy you'd expect to see in a movie. That was Brandon. 3 whirlwind months later, we were tying the knot. Are you sure about this, Panilla? Aisha, my best friend and coworker, asked while adjusting my wedding dress. You don't really know his family. I chuckled, brushing it off. They'll love me, Aisha. Oh, how wrong I was. Enter Evelyn, Brandon's mom, and Courtney, his sister. From the moment I met them, I knew I wasn't who they envisioned for their beloved Brandon. So, Panilla, Evelyn began at our first family dinner, her smile thin. How long do you plan to stick around here? I forced a laugh. Well, I'm married to Brandon now, so I guess I'm here to stay. The silence that followed was deafening. As time passed, I tried to blend in. I learned to bake apple pie, sat through endless football games, and even tried using the phrase, "Oh, okay," but that one didn't really stick. Still, nothing seemed to please them. Honey, maybe you could dress a bit more American, Brandon suggested one day, eyeing my colorful Danish sweater. I frowned. What's wrong with my outfit? He quickly backpedaled. Nothing. It's just, you know how mom is. And that was it. I was starting to understand exactly how Evelyn was, and it wasn't pretty. As Thanksgiving drew near, I threw myself into preparations, thinking this was my shot to finally feel like I belonged. I'm going to make a traditional Danish dish to go with the turkey, I told Brandon with excitement. He hesitated. Maybe just stick with the classics this year, babe. Mom's pretty picky about Thanksgiving. I bit back my disappointment. Sure, whatever you think is best. The day before Thanksgiving, Evelyn called. Panilla, darling, why don't you come over early to help with everything? Of course, I agreed, ignoring Aisha's eye roll. Sounds great. Oh, and don't worry about bringing anything. We've got it all covered. I hung up, and Aisha shook her head. Girl, you're setting yourself up for heartbreak. I sighed. They're family now. Aisha, I've got to try. The next morning, Brandon and I drove to his family's house in the suburbs. As we approached the door, he squeezed my hand. Excited for your first American Thanksgiving? I nodded, the knot in my stomach growing. As ready as I'll ever be. Little did I know, I was about to walk into a nightmare. The moment I stepped into Evelyn's kitchen, I felt the air thicken with tension. The aroma of roasting turkey mingled with an undercurrent of subtle hostility. Oh, Panilla, darling, Evelyn said sweetly, why don't you set the table? The fine china's in the cabinet. I nodded, eager to help, but before I could reach the plates, Courtney swooped in. I've got it, Mom. Panilla probably doesn't know how we do things here. The digs kept coming. Every family story conveniently left me out. Every tradition was explained to me as if I were a child. We always watch the parade. Panilla, it's a big American thing, Courtney said slowly, as though I might not get it. Finally, we sat down to eat. My plate looked a little different. The turkey looked strange. The texture was off. Enjoy your meal, everyone, Evelyn said, her eyes gleaming as they met mine. I took a bite, and instantly, my stomach churned. It wasn't turkey. It was something else. I looked around in confusion, catching glimpses of smirking faces. A soft giggle rippled through the table. Is something wrong, Panilla? Brandon's uncle asked innocently. And that's when it hit me, this wasn't turkey. It was dog food. My stomach turned. Oh my God, I whispered, pushing my chair back. What is this? Evelyn's laughter rang out. Oh, come on, Panilla. It's just a joke. You're too sensitive. I looked at Brandon, hoping for some support, but he just sat there, offering me a weak smile. Babe, it's just teasing. It's no big deal. No big deal? I felt like I was going to lose it. Without saying another word, I grabbed my purse and rushed out the door, ignoring the calls from behind me. As I drove away, tears blurred my vision. Memories of every slight, every cold reception, rushed through my mind, Evelyn spilling wine on my favorite dress, Courtney not inviting me to her engagement party, Brandon never standing up for me. My phone buzzed incessantly. Brandon's texts ranged from dismissive to pleading. It was just a prank. Don't overreact. Come back. Please. You're embarrassing me. My family thinks you can't take a joke. I ignored them all and drove straight to Aisha's place. She opened the door, took one look at me, and pulled me into a hug. What happened? She asked, guiding me to the couch. I sobbed and told her everything. As I spoke, Aisha's face grew more serious. That's it, she said firmly. You're leaving him tonight. I hesitated. But what if I just try harder? No, Aisha interrupted. This isn't about you trying harder. They're abusive. Panilla. And Brandon? He's just as bad for letting it happen. Deep down, I knew she was right. This wasn't love. This wasn't a family. That night, while Brandon was still at his parents' place, I packed my things. I left my wedding ring on the kitchen counter with a note. I deserve more than dog food and disrespect. Goodbye, Brandon. The next morning, I filed for divorce. As I signed the papers, I felt a weight lift off me. For the first time in months, I could breathe again. But as I left the lawyer's office, my phone buzzed. It was a text from Evelyn. I always knew you weren't good enough for our family. Go back to Denmark, little girl. I stared at the screen, a new sense of determination flooding through me. This wasn't over, not by a long shot. If they wanted to play games, fine. They were about to find out that this Danish girl knew how to fight back. In the weeks after Thanksgiving, everything became a blur, tears, anger, and paperwork. I buried myself in work, grateful for the distraction. One day, my boss pulled me aside, noticing the change in my demeanor. Panilla, is everything okay? You seem off. I broke down, spilling everything. To my surprise, she was incredibly supportive. Take all the time you need. We've got your back. Meanwhile, Brandon swung between begging for forgiveness and lashing out. But I was done. Baby, please. It was just a harmless prank. We can sort this out, he begged. But the next day, his tone shifted. You're being ridiculous. My family is right. You're way too sensitive. Yet, his family stayed consistent in their attacks. Whispers spread through our social circle, painting me as a gold digger and someone who didn't fit in culturally. Aisha, my rock, stood by me like a shield. Ignore those snakes. You're better off without them. She introduced me to Mark, a divorce lawyer with a no-nonsense approach and kind eyes. What they did was emotional abuse. Panilla, he said when we first met, we're going to make sure you're okay through this. One sleepless night, I began writing. I poured my feelings and experiences into a blog post. And to my surprise, it went viral almost overnight. Messages flooded in. This happened to me too. You're so brave for speaking out. And I thought I was the only one dealing with toxic in-laws. Suddenly, I had a platform. People were listening and sharing their own stories of mistreatment and cultural insensitivity. Predictably, Brandon's family tried to undermine me. She's exaggerating for attention, Courtney posted online. It was just a harmless joke. But their efforts backfired. More people came forward, including Brandon's ex-girlfriend. They did the same to me. She wrote, the manipulation, the jokes that crossed the line. It's a pattern with them. With Aisha and Mark's support, I gathered these testimonies, building a case that extended beyond my own experience. Panilla, Mark said one evening, looking over the evidence. I think it's time to go public. I hesitated. What if they sue me for defamation? Aisha squeezed my hand. Let them. The truth is your best defense. And trust me, you've got the truth on your side. As I prepared to share my story with a major online publication, a mix of fear and determination washed over me. This wasn't just about me anymore. It was for everyone who'd ever been belittled by those who were supposed to care. I took a deep breath and began typing. My name is Panilla, and this is how my American dream became a nightmare. Little did I know, hitting publish would trigger a series of events that would not only change my life, but also the lives of many others. Brandon's family thought they could break me. They were about to learn how wrong they were. The moment I clicked publish, my world exploded. Within hours, my story was everywhere: news outlets, social media, talk shows. The public's reaction was swift and powerful. My phone buzzed non-stop with messages of support. You're so brave, Panilla. Thank you for speaking out. The real shockwaves hit Brandon's family. His company, facing massive backlash, issued a statement: "We do not condone discriminatory behavior. Brandon is on indefinite leave while we investigate." Evelyn wasn't spared either. Parents at her school, appalled by her treatment of an immigrant daughter-in-law, demanded action. The school board held an emergency meeting. Courtney's world crumbled too. Her fiancé's family, disgusted by the revelations, withdrew their support. The wedding's off, Aisha read from a gossip site, a touch of satisfaction in her voice. Looks like karma's real after all. Meanwhile, my blog gained momentum. It became a platform for others to share their stories of family abuse and cultural insensitivity. I was overwhelmed by the response. Panilla, my agent, yes, I had an agent now, said, "We've got offers for book deals, speaking engagements. People want to hear your story." It felt surreal. The girl who once felt voiceless now had the world's attention. Amid the chaos, Brandon tried one last time to reach out. He showed up at my new apartment, looking disheveled. "Pill, please. I'm sorry, I didn't realize. Can we start over?" I looked at him, the man I once loved, and felt nothing. "No, Brandon, we can't. Goodbye." As I closed the door, I knew that chapter of my life was over. But as one door closed, others opened. My graphic design career took off. Clients, impressed by my work and my story, began reaching out. "I'm starting my own agency," I told Aisha over celebratory drinks, focusing on empowering immigrant-owned businesses. She raised her glass to new beginnings and sweet justice. A year flew by in a whirlwind of success. My book became a bestseller. My speaking engagements sold out, and my agency thrived. Then came some unexpected news. Brandon's family business, the source of their wealth and status, was struggling. Boycotts and bad press had taken a toll. "They're selling off assets," Mark told me during a catch-up call. "Looks like the mighty have fallen." I felt a sense of closure, not sadness. The final victory came when I was nominated for an advocacy award, recognizing my work in immigrant rights and family abuse awareness. Standing on stage to accept the award, I saw my entire journey flash before me: the scared, lonely immigrant girl, the betrayed wife, and now, a woman strong, successful, and proud of her scars. "This award," I said into the microphone, "is for everyone who's ever felt alone in a foreign land or unwelcome in their own family. You are seen, you are heard, and you are worthy of love and respect." As the applause echoed, I thought about Brandon's family. Their cruelty was meant to break me, but instead, it had shaped me into something stronger than they could have ever imagined. I left the stage, award in hand, ready to write the next chapter of my life on my own terms, with the strength of my experiences behind me. And that was the conclusion of Panilla's journey from victim to victor. So, here's a question for you. Was Panilla right to expose Brandon's family, or did she cross a line in her pursuit of justice? Where do you think the line is between standing up for yourself and seeking revenge? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching. See you again in the next video. Stay stunned.